Hey there! Here are 10 Runelite plugins that can help new and returning players. I tried to stick to less known about plugins that are still very useful, but if I missed any, feel free to let people know in the comments. Slayer is one of the most loved skills because of its diversity, and the fact a lot of great gear is locked behind this skill. Because of its diversity, it can be a bit daunting for new players. What do I pray? What style do I use? Where is this monster? With the Slayer Assistant, you can look up whatever your task is and get all the information you need. So now, when your Slayer Master tells you to go kill aberrant scepters, you can see where they are, that you need a nose peg or a Slayer helmet. They attack with magic, so we either want to wear magic defensive gear or to pray range, and it also tells us the masters that assign them as well as their wiki page. While killing these specters, you'll get a lot of herbs, which brings us to... It's very hard to know early on which herbs should be used for which potions. The Herblore Recipes plugin makes this much easier by telling you which potion your herbs will make. All you need to do is hover over the herb, and it will tell you all the potions it can make and which secondaries you need. This makes it easier to decide which herbs to keep when your inventory is getting crowded. A Guam can only make attack potions, tar, and Guthix Rest, but a Renar can be used to make prayer potions, which is very useful. So if I had to choose between the two, I'll favor the Renar. Here is a quick chart showing which potions I think you should save your herbs for. This is especially useful as an Ironman with limited herbs and potions. The other way to get herbs is through farming, another confusing skill to train. Even just looking at this skill guide is confusing. We've got 13 different subsections, and I have to scroll through each one just trying to figure out what I'm looking for. And I just want to know what to use this darn mahogany seed for. With Green Thumb though, I can just hover over the seed. It tells me what level it needs, what type of tree it is, how many seeds I need for each patch, how long it'll take, the type of stuff I need for protection, and the experience. It gives me all the information I need. No longer will I have to withdraw every farm-related item just to pay for a magic tree. Now that I'm restocked on herbs, I can finally go back to Slayer. A very important part of Slayer is getting Slayer points. Slayer points are used to skip tasks, block tasks, buy useful items like the Slayer helmet, extend tasks. They have many uses. Every 10th, 50th, 100th, 250th, and 1000th task you'll get bonus points, so you'll want to use a Slayer Master that provides the most points. The best Slayer Master for this is Konar. With the Konar milestone reminder, we can see in the chat it gives us a message of it's time to use Konar instead of another master. If you didn't notice that, the Slayer Master will also be highlighted in red telling you not to use them. But if you go into the settings on the Konar milestone thing, you can even hide the Slayer Master that isn't Konar so you don't accidentally click somebody on your milestone task. Konar also has the benefit of getting you access to the Brimstone chest for a chance at that sexy Dusk Mystic. On the Slayer grind, you'll fight a lot of monsters you've never fought before, and you may be wondering their drops. Instead of abusing the wiki button, we can use this instead. I am habitually checking monster drop tables to see how lucky or how dry I am. I prefer to stay in the game instead of jumping back and forth to our very wonderful wiki. This is where loot lookup comes in handy. Instead of opening a new window, you get all the drop rates in a tidy little side panel. This way I know while I'm grinding for collection log items like the Mystic Gloves, it's a 1 out of 512. Speaking of useful side panels, there's another one that I really like. A lot of activities in this game require that you want to maximize a certain stat. whether that be range for a clue step, strength for general use, or prayer for some AFKing. Personally, I have over 1,000 items in my bank. It can be pretty difficult to know all the stats of every item. Bank Equipment Stat lets you select what stat you're interested in and which equipment slot you want it for, so you can find the best loadouts of equipment that are currently in your bank. As an example, let's say I want to maximize my strength for Slayer. So I know I won't need anything in the helmet slot because we have a Slayer helm. I will just go and select melee strength, and I'll go to my weapon. The God Swords are the highest, but they're a two-handed weapon, so I want to go to my highest one-handed weapon and use the Osmumpton's Fang, and then I can go down the whole list and see the best strength of each one. So my only strength body is my torso. Then I've got some defenders or the Dragonfire Shield. For my legs, it's just the Tacits are my only option. The gloves, I've got a few options. It does organize it from greatest to least, so I know my Ferocious gloves are the best, and my Crab Claw is the worst. I can find all of my boots, my rings, and then, of course, there's no ammo. Sometimes people are wearing equipment that you might not be familiar with, though. If you're ever curious what somebody is wearing, you can right-click them and click on Equipment. This will pull up a side panel with everything that they're wearing except for the ring and the ammo slot. It also tells us the total price, so if we're looking at upgrading, these are some ideas. If you're coming from pretty much any other MMO, this is going to sound pretty standard, but it's not built into RuneScape by default, being able to check out somebody's equipment. So, if you ever see somebody slaying or something in different gear than you are, it might be worth looking them up just to get some appropriate gear ideas. This is going to be a 3-in-1 because everybody gets dragged into the wilderness sooner or later. Whether it be clue scrolls, hunting a Voidwaker, or just doing some good old PKing. Most of the time, we want to avoid PKers. So 3 plugins to really help with this are the Wilderness Player Alarm. This plugin by itself has easily saved me millions in deaths. Whenever somebody appears on your screen, it starts flashing, allowing you to quickly react and teleport away. A couple of times it's necessary to get a skull, either from going into the abyss for rune crafting, or a clue step, or getting the massively increased drop rates from revenants. Knowing when this skull will disappear, so you can either re-skull or feel safe 3-iteming in the wilderness again, is very useful. The Emblem Trader Skull Timer provides a handy timer. Sometimes the best action in the wilderness is to just log out. To make this easier, we can get the large log out button, and there's not a lot more to say about that. Consuming items in RuneScape can be a bit weird. You can't spam eat food, and you can't spam drink potions either. You also can't drink a potion and then eat a food, because there's a delay, but you can eat a food and then immediately after drink a potion. And then there's Karam wands, which can be used for all sorts of weird combo eating things. How do you make sense of this and visualize it as a new player? We have the Consumable Cooldowns plugin. It's going to give us a neat little graphic on when we can consume an item again. So if I eat a Karam wand, we see everything goes on cooldown. If I drink a potion, we see everything goes on cooldown. And then if I eat the Manta Ray, only the food goes on cooldown. That's why we can do the hard food to potion to Karam wand combo eat. Between the bank, various storage chests, Death's Office, stashed units, and all the minigames in the game, it's hard to keep track of what you actually own. This is where the Dude Where's My Stuff plugin is really nice. It gives you a GP breakdown of your whole account and a quick overview of everything. But even more than that, you can go into depth on each section. I can even look at my minigames and see how many points I have in each minigame. I can look at all the things in my house if I'm wondering where it is. I can check stash units, pouches, coins, where they're hitting at Nightmare Zone, Servant's Money Bag. I can see things in Death's Office. It's very valuable. And if you don't want to check each thing, I can just use the search function and say I want to find my pickaxes. I can see I have too many pickaxes in my bank, and then I also have a pickaxe in TOA. RuneScape is a very fun game, but it's also very addictive. It's good to set up some routines for yourself so you can stay healthy. One plugin to help with this is the Hydrate Reminder. You can set it at any interval you want, and it just reminds you to drink a quick sip of water. Hopefully, with the upcoming RuneFest announcement, some Runelite developer will work on a shower reminder. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day.